In this video, I want to tell you about all the differences between a 250 four-stroke and a 450 four-stroke. What's up, Rad family? I'm Dakota Freeman and welcome to the Rad Adventure Dude channel. If you haven't hit my subscribe button yet, make sure you hit that and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. Choosing between a 250 four-stroke and a 450 four-stroke can sometimes be difficult, and that's why in this video, I'm going to tell you about all the differences. Let's go ahead and start talking about our 250 four-stroke. A 250 four-stroke is going to have a little bit less power than a 450 four-stroke. However, it's going to be much lighter. This is going to make it much easier to ride, especially as a beginner. Even if you're not a beginner and you're an expert rider, riding this lighter bike can actually be faster than being on a 450 four-stroke. The differences between a 250 four-stroke and a 450 four-stroke really all come down to personal preference. Having a lighter bike when you're out on the tracks and trails makes it much easier for you to maneuver, making it much easier to handle. The 250 four-stroke's also not going to have as much torque, so this can actually make it easier for you to ride, especially if you're a beginner. A beginner rider on a 250 four-stroke is a great bike to start on, as long as it's not a race bike. If you have a 250 four-stroke, this is the perfect bike to be able to get so you can learn as a beginner. However, a 250 four-stroke is going to have enough power that you can grow into over time, and you're not going to outgrow this 250 four-stroke very quickly. Other benefits of a 250 four-stroke is that you're going to be able to ride it for a longer period of time. This dirt bike doesn't have as much torque, and it's not going to wear you out as much when you're riding it. And since it's lighter, this is also going to make it easier to ride for longer periods of time as well. So sometimes, depending on what you're doing, as I said before, it's all about personal preference, but depending on what you're doing, a 250 four-stroke could be the right bike for the job. Now let's cover a 450 four-stroke and how it's different. A 450 four-stroke is going to have a lot more power. A lot more power can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing. If this 450 has a lot more power, it also has a lot more torque coming from the motor. Torque is going to be great if you're looking for acceleration from the low end coming out of a corner. However, the torque can also wear your body out as you're riding on the dirt bike because you're almost having to fight the dirt bike along the way. So the 450 four-stroke is going to have a ton more torque on it than the 250 four-stroke. Sometimes this torque can be a bad thing. However, on a 450 four-stroke, it can make it a lot easier if you're coming out of a corner and have to hit a jump. Where on a 250 four-stroke, you might have to work it around the corner and really hold your momentum and then really accelerate properly into the face. Where on a 450 four-stroke, you can almost be lazier, get around the corner at your own pace, and then come at the jump, and right when you're ready to come up the face, just give her a handful of throttle, and this could be enough power to get you all the way over the jump. So a 450 four-stroke is going to be much easier for hitting jumps if you don't have momentum. Having the torque on the 450 like this also makes it easier for picking up the front wheel and doing a wheelie. You can get the bike up into the higher gears and still have enough torque in the motor to be able to pick that front wheel up with no problem. Then just use your throttle to continue balancing the bike right where it needs to be while you're doing your wheelie. So if you're jumping out of corners, wheeling your bike, the torque can actually help benefit you. These 450s are twice as much motor, and they are going to go a lot faster at top speeds. However, they're heavier and harder to ride, and this is definitely going to wear your body out if you're riding on a 450 four-stroke for a long period of time. So choosing between the differences here in the 250 four-stroke and the 450 four-stroke are going to be a big toss-up, and it really just depends on you and your riding style. If you're a beginner and you're looking for a bike that might be a little bit more power than you're looking for right now, however, it's going to be a dirt bike that you don't grow out of, a 250 four-stroke is going to be a perfect bike for you. If you're a really advanced rider, mastering the tracks and trails, and wanting to be on a bike with more power, the 450 might be the right bike for you. However, I know a lot of riders who are very fast, and some of the quickest that I know on the tracks and trails, and they would choose a 250 four-stroke simply because they like the way that it rides. It's easier on the body, and they've really learned how to work the gears on these 250 four-strokes and be able to hold their momentum around the entire track. And since it's lighter, you can throw this bike around, and it makes it so much easier to control. So it's all about personal preference here and what you choose and your riding style. And the funny thing about all this is that I don't ride a 254 stroke or a 454 stroke. I ride a KTM 350 SXF. For me personally, I've found that this 350 four-stroke is actually the best motorcycle for the power. It's a lot lighter than a 450 four-stroke, just like the 250. However, it has a lot more power, just like the 450 four-stroke. For me, being a lighter rider, it is the perfect bike as I don't really need the power out of a 450 four-stroke, and it honestly would slow me down in my riding being on such a torquey motorcycle. So this is why I prefer riding on a 350 four-stroke compared to a 250 four-stroke or a 450 four-stroke. It's been a great bike for me, and it might be a great bike for you as well. So these are all the differences between a 250 four-stroke and a 450 four-stroke. You also heard a couple little things that I had to say about the 350 four-stroke that a couple brands are making, and now I hope that you know exactly what bike that you need to choose for getting into riding and the next time that you want to get a new dirt bike. If this video helped you, make sure you like this video, drop some comments down below, and ask me any other questions that you have. If you're looking for dirt bike riding tips, I'm always here. I've made a full dirt bike riding course over on my website, and it'll walk you through being a complete beginner and take you to an advanced rider mastering the tracks and trails. I also give away a free dirt bike guide over on my website as well. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter and I'll send it straight to you. Make sure you click the subscribe button that's right here and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. After that, you can watch my next video right here. Stay rad, and I'll see you over there.